After an absence of more than 3 years, the FatCat circuit returns to the British Championship calendar. Here's a look at the layout of the track.
My name is Jake Millward, riding for Chambers Husqvarna, and I'm riding a FC 450, and we are here at FatCat MotoParc. Off the start, we are setting off on like a mesh grid, like a metal grid start. After the mesh on the other side of the gate is real deep sand, so try and get your weight back as far as possible and try and get the best start you can. And then obviously you've got a few technical tight corners after that. Generally the outsides are working quite well today, they're really fast, keeping a lot of speed and a lot of momentum going around there. Fortunately the rain is holding off in a minute. The track is in really good condition. I can't believe how good it is to say that with the weather that we've had. Then the back roller section is really deep. It's hard to try and sort of manual all the way through. We've got to sort of like double out mainly, but it's good, it's really fast. Then you go into quite a fast chicane, but it's really rutting, really technical. And then going over past through the finish line, and then that is a complete lap at FatCat MotoParc. It's really rutty out there, and it's going to make for a good day's racing for sure.
A new feature at the FatCat circuit is the mesh start. Its introduction has been given a big thumbs up by riders and teams alike.
I think the mesh start, in my opinion, is a great addition to this year's Maxxis British Championship. It's what we use at the World Championships, 18 rounds there, so we're quite used to it. Especially on a day like this, instead of being in a big deep rut coming out of the start with a load of water in it, we're on the mesh start. Gives everyone a fair advantage on the start, and to be honest, I think it's great to see them putting the effort in and having that there today. So hopefully it'll work to my advantage and we can start the day off with some hole shots.
Let's begin coverage of today's racing by focusing on the MX2 class, beginning with someone who could ruffle a few feathers this season. Dylan Walsh made his British Championship debut at the final round in Ling last year, and it was an instant impact, winning the opening moto of the day. Even though he was born in England, he spent most of his life in New Zealand before moving to the USA. He's now looking to settle in quickly to the land of his birth and start repaying the faith Revo Husqvarna have shown in him.
Yeah, it actually went not too bad. I won the first race, but then had a little struggle in the second with a crash, but all in all it was a pretty good event, and yeah, I liked it, so I'm happy to do the whole series this year.
He's aware that despite his strong showing on his debut in 2018, this will be a tough full season of racing, but he's confident he can be at the sharp end.
The class is very stacked this year, so it should be good, interesting all year, but I think that I've put enough work inside my team and we should be able to get it done.
Back to defend his MX2 crown is Conrad Muse. He stays with the rebranded Hitachi KTM fueled by Milwaukee team for this year's campaign, following his title-winning season, which saw him win 9 of the 14 races held in 2018. He certainly begins this year as favourite in what looks like a strong field of challengers. The biggest threat to his crown could come from his own team. Bas Vassen has been drafted in, and the Dutchman arrives with a strong Grand Prix pedigree. He could certainly make a huge impact on this year's championship, and his teammate Muse may have to become used to sharing the success around. Vassen is certainly happy to be competing in the UK.
I'm confident in the bike. I feel we've done a good job. Yeah, the team is really awesome. They let me do what I want. If I want to go training or if I want to go practicing wherever I want, that's fine. They just say, we give you the tools, you do your job, we do our job, and then we try to get the best results.
The sun is breaking through the clouds on what has so far been a day ripped by gale force winds and pounded by torrential rain. The fastest man in qualifying for the MX2 class is Dylan Walsh. He'll be delighted to achieve that in what is his first competitive ride for the team in the British Championship. Third fastest is series newcomer Bas Vassen.
Track looks lovely. I think I really like the layout. It's a bit of a bummer that it's so rainy and so wet, but still the track is holding up really well. It's better than I expected.
We should see the 5-second board go up at any moment, and there it is. So the British Championship season is about to kick off. What drama awaits as the gate drops and away they go. Conrad Mewse is the defending champion. He missed out on pole position by just 0.03 of a second. Alvin Östlund is another new name to the British Championship and another with Grand Prix experience. He was 4th fastest ahead of Jay Haig and Martin Barr. Ashton Dickinson on the Craig's Motorcycles KTM with the lead. There are some very fast men immediately behind him. Dylan Walsh is there, so too Bas Vassen, Conrad Mewse, the current champion, and Martin Barr. They're not only racing each other, of course, the track will prove to be a real test. It's a credit to the organising club to have it in such good condition, despite the appalling weather we've had over the weekend. What can we expect from Dylan Walsh this year? He went extremely well in qualifying and doing very well in the race. I was about to say, as he hits the dirt, and that will cost him 4 places at least, if not more, as he rises back onto the bike. It's a blip, but he has recovered quickly enough that it may not cost him too much time. Josh Gilbert, Bas Vassen, Martin Barr and Conrad Mewse, I think, were the quartet to benefit. Mewse taking a slight detour. This is Conrad Mewse, the defending British MX2 champion, looking for a move on Martin Barr, and he has one. And a mistake by Dickinson, and Bas Vassen says, thank you very much. So Dickinson slips and Vassen slips into first. Dickinson on his way again. He finds himself just ahead of Mewse and Barr. Mewse is poised to move ahead of Josh Gilbert as he draws up alongside and just powers his way through. Gilbert was something of a surprise package last year, but what a fight he put up. So it's Bas Vassen who leads in his first race in the British Championship for Hitachi KTM, fueled by Milwaukee. And he has his teammate Conrad Mewse just behind in second place. Third is Josh Gilbert on the build-based Honda with the Crescent Yamaha of Martin Barr in fourth. Early race leader Ashton Dickinson fifth, ahead of pole setter Dylan Walsh. This is a sight that will put a smile on the face of Hitachi KTM boss Roger McGee. His 2 boys leading the way in the opening race of the season, and not only leading, but pulling away from the opposition as well. Both riders also contesting Grand Prix this season, which again shows the attraction of the British Series to riders of World Championship pedigree. No time to relax and sit down for Mewse, feet on both pegs, backside in the air, as he continues to chase down his teammate on what is, it has to be said, an energy-sapping surface. He's closing in, Mewse looking strong with Vassen tiring, and I think we've just seen a change in the lead of the race, and here we have, as Mewse flies past, a tired-looking Vassen. And that's Josh Gilbert who smacks the dirt, quickly back on his feet and looking to rejoin. He will lose a couple of places at least, but he is on his way again. I suppose you could say Bas Vassen should be feeling somewhat at home. This is something of a typical Dutch motocross surface. Well, Alvin Östlund, having made, shall we say, not the start he'd hoped for, continues to climb the leaderboard. He was down in around 10th place at the end of lap 1, but he's steadily chipped away at those in front of him, and now he's nipping away at Martin Barr. Nipping away so much that he's now drawn up alongside and pushes through. visibility is certainly an issue today. Two on two is Ben Clark on the RFX Tech 41 KTM. He's looking for a place in the top 20 and some championship points. This is Josh Gilbert in 7th. And he just hasn't looked like the same rider since we saw him take that tumble. He had such a good season last year, surprised many, perhaps even himself. Meanwhile, he looks as if he will have Lewis Hall on the Team Green Kawasaki for company very soon. That is a Yamaha burying itself in the sand, and it's the MSR Redline machine of Josh Spinks. Any dirt rider will tell you there can be nothing more frustrating than trying to pick up a bike when you're spent. And that, folks, is why you should always carry a shovel. Who will bet against this man taking his second successive British MX2 title? And we're not even at the end of the first race of the year. He won 9 motos last year, but only secured the title at the last round, so there is plenty to chew on between now and Saltash in mid-September. Bas Vassen, still very much in the picture in second. He's either content to follow or just can't quite get close enough. There's a big gap between these two, and Usland in 3rd. Barr is 4th with Walsh 5th and Dickinson 6th. Poor Lewis Hall. He was 7th, but that looks like the bike has expired with less than 2 laps to go. He and the Kawasaki are going nowhere. This is far from over. Vassen just a couple of bike lengths behind Muse as they weave their way through traffic. I wonder if Muse knows how close his teammate is. This could be something of a grandstand finish as they splash their way around. It looks like Vassen is about to strike, but the move just isn't coming. They could be under team orders not to try anything risky, and the new boy would not be popular should he take out his teammate in the first race of the season. The checker flag is being waved, and it's Conrad Muse who wins the first MX2 race of the year. Bas Vassen is 2nd, and it should be Alvin Usland with 3rd in his first British Championship race. What's going to work? Teamwork is the answer, and congratulations all round in the Hitachi KTM fueled by Milwaukee team. Four different nationalities in the top 6, 5 if you count Northern Ireland for 4th placed Martin Barr. The top 3 made up of a Swede, Dutchman and an Englishman. Coming up next, it's the best of the action from the second MX2 race. Can anyone beat Conrad Muse?